Welcome to Driving Immersion for the immersive driving experience. This race, we're at the home of the Red Bull team in Austria.
This is it then, race day in Spielberg for this year's Austrian Grand Prix. The grandstands were a sea of red in 2019 thanks to the commemorative hats in honour of the late great Niki Lauda, who took home victory of course back in 1984. And it's a sellout crowd once again here today. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about the Professor. That was a great podium in the last race, so can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs, so it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and Leclerc, Ricciardo, Norris, Stroll, and the Professor, Sainz, Magnussen, Alexander Albon, and Ocon, Kvyat, Gasly, Kimi Raikkonen, and Roman Grosjean, Latifi, Schumacher, Russell, and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Well, looking forward to very good results this weekend. We did make it to Q3 upon improving weather conditions. Here's our pit strategy with 2 stops, 2 reds and 1 yellow at the end. And we're going to add in about 3 extra laps of fuel. And we should be ready to go. So here's the track map. Only 10 turns, and most of the turns are going to be very fast sweeping turns, except for 1, 3, and 4.
Let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears, so go through them all if you can.
Here's turn 1, a very sharp right-hander. Turn 2 right here, this sweeping left-hander. And approaching turn 3, which is going to be a very slow corner, more than 90 degrees. And as we exit out of the corner, we're going to be going up and off camber, so acceleration is going to be very tricky. But it does open into a DRS zone. Turn 4 here, again a very tight corner. It is more than 90 degrees, and we'll be using the runoff curb quite often. Turn 5 on the right. Turn 6 here, a blind left-hander. Turn 7. Turn 8. Again, all sweeping turns so far. Turn 9 here. We're going to be riding over the curb and exiting on the shoulder. And then cutting off turn 10 as much as we can to get onto the main straight here, past the start-finish line. So here we are in 10th place on the grid.
Be patient and watch for the lights.
There are the lights we go when they're all off. So a very little slip there going from second to third. And for a moment we are clear of the field. Staying away from the other cars as we do have damage turned on full. On the outside of turn 3, we are now next to the Ferrari. And we are 3 abreast coming into turn 4. And we outbrake ourselves. Perez gets back ahead of us, which leaves us battling with the Renault. Yes, so that's a very good start so far. Now the weather is certainly overcast, but there is no rain forecasted for the race. Coming in very slow into turn 3. Again, the tricky exit.
So I know front is going to be tough.
We bang wheels with the racing point.
But, no damage.
We have the AI difficulty set to expert, but you can see there that there are still some areas where the AI
will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
The other drivers will tend to be a little bit slower in the braking. There we are, exiting on the apron, out of turn 3. Probably the trickiest corner in the race. But again, we are clear here of the racing point, which leaves us to race with the Ferrari ahead.
Come on.
Very wide on the apron there. From the wing of the 66, you can see the racing point fading behind us. The exit out of turn 3.
Right, we have a very worn-out MG UK. Our battery charge speed is suffering, and if it gets much worse, we could be forced to retire. Okay, gap ahead is 1.6 seconds.
looking on from the wing of the Ferrari, looking back at the Red Bull, I believe that would be
Not very confident in one.
Verstappen. There we are. We have a look at the Ferrari and the Red Bull just ahead of us.
I don't seem to have the turn-ins on both of those corners.
So, still with very little wear on the tires, we are experiencing a little bit of understeer. There is the Ferrari and the Red Bull trying to go too wide. And that allows us to catch up to them. So we do have DRS available to us. Doesn't look like it's activated there. But we are able to dive underneath the Ferrari, a little wheel banging. And we are through in turn 3.
I thought I got him fair and square.
There is Sebastian Vettel. We just passed him in 66. And just ahead we have Max Verstappen in 6th place. So we do have a failing MG UK on the car, which is storage for energy, and it's a component that we just replaced about 2 races ago, so it's a mystery why it may be failing or starting to fail at this point. And there we just got to look at the side pod of the 66. There are certainly tire marks on the right hand side and also on the left hand side. Now we just had a look at the front wing a couple laps ago. We did dive underneath Sergio Perez in the racing point. There is a chunk of the left wing missing, and it's just the end plate, so right now it's not affecting us too much. There are no indications that the wing is broken, so we'll continue on, but again, there is a little bit of damage on the front wing. And that was basically turn 1. There's really one good route around that turn. And it is just to take it fast and be at the right apex at the right time. are still in 7th place. We are trying to make it up to Max Verstappen that just disappeared ahead of us there. And right behind us is the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. A little slide there on the exit as we ride over the curb. Turn 2, turn 3, glowing red brakes. And we are getting a little bit closer to Max just ahead. Certainly not close enough at this point. So a couple of improvements on the car for this weekend. We have improved fuel economy as well as energy storage, although our unit is starting to fail. And it is a short lap, so we're really not suffering too much for energy recovery. There is a high curb in the inside of turn 1, as you saw there, and we hit it that time. It is enough to throw you off into the left. So you don't want to cut through turn 1. Now there are a couple of Ferraris sticking behind us. I think ahead of Charles Leclerc is Sebastian Vettel.
I think these reds are starting to go away.
Still looking back to see if they are making any development, trying to get closer. And you can see that they are able to stick and stay with us. And at the same time, we're not making any headway on Max Verstappen just ahead. Riding with Charles Leclerc and Ferrari. Looking at Sebastian Vettel and the 66 just ahead. Going through turn 3. Under the DRS zone, you see that Sebastian Vettel has opened his wing. And Charles Leclerc here also. Now turn 4 as you turn in is off camber, so it feels like the turn does go away.
Okay, gap ahead is 4.3 seconds.
Very wide driving on the apron there. Back to the Ferraris, and you can see that they are just behind us. From the nose of Charles Leclerc. So we're definitely racing with their two Ferraris. Any one little mistake and they could just get by us. And we're doing anything we can at this point just to keep the door closed. Riding here with Vettel, looking at the 66. Again, very wide on the apron.
Well, I can still see Max up ahead. But he's definitely getting away. Don't know how much power loss I have.
To pull away.
Lap 16, and we are in 4th place. A couple of Ferraris behind us. And there's not really a one part or one place on the track where we have an advantage, and they are able to stay with us. So we are due to change out of these tires on lap 23. And at that point, they should still be under 50% worn. So we still have a lot of driving to do on these tires. And they're not really suffering too much at this point. There we are past the start-finish line. The Ferraris are staged for a pass. More than ever. And you can see the 3 cars behind us all have their DRS wings open.
How are we going to catch him with the 2 problems that we have with the car?
There is Sebastian Vettel. He tries to make a sweep past us. Not enough. And it's 2 cars through turn 9.
Oh, they're right up to me now.
Coming into turn 3 here, they are being held back now by the 66 as we have a couple of failing power parts. The combustion engine, which is our second engine for the year, is on its 6th race. And then the MG UK is actually relatively new, but it's failing for some reason. So we are losing Max Verstappen ahead because of these failing parts. There is one of the Ferraris that has just dived into the pits. And that may have been Sebastian Vettel. So we'll be making a note of that, as Ferrari has actually been very strategic in their pit strategy for the races so far this year.
Okay, so Vettel pitted, so did Verstappen.
So lap 20 now, you can see there's about 37%, 38% wear on the front tires, 35 or so on the back. And this is a short lap, so that's actually reasonable wear.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
A little lockup coming into turn 3. Back to the helicopter. You can see we are racing alone at this point. Trying to make up distance on these Warren Reds. Now looking back, it looks like the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc has gotten into the pits at some point within the last couple of laps, as we saw the recent point of Sergio Perez. There he is, 3 seconds back. And you can see by the timing there that Valtteri has the fastest lap of the race so far in first place, and second place is Hamilton, and right now we are standing in third.
6.5 seconds.
There's the curb again in turn 1, and we just drove over it. You can see it unsettled the car. At the end of this lap, we will be coming in for a tire change. And you can see there with the timing that Max Verstappen, I believe he's got a new set of tires now, has the fastest lap. The two Mercedes ahead of us have not come in yet. Here we are into the pits. Quick and simple onto another set of reds. And you can see there that Sergio Perez in the Racing Point has gained some time coming into the pits.
So both Ferraris got ahead, eh? That's okay. We were actually going slower with whatever problem we have with the car. We are still, however, ahead of Perez.
Yes, we get to see there that the Ferraris in the round of pit stops
Sun is out.
have made it around us, so now they are ahead. They were faster on the track before the pit stops. We were just able to keep them behind. Again, we are racing with a couple of worn power parts on the car, so we are at a loss of power. And we are maintaining our speed with the fuel mixture again with the ERS. And if you can just learn how to use those strategically, you can stay ahead of the other cars.
Okay, gap ahead is 3.7 seconds.
And that is 3.7 seconds to Charles Leclerc. Well, the Racing Point's certainly very racy, and he's sticking close behind. He will have his DRS open here. Let's see if he makes any ground. A little bit on the braking zone.
Looks like the car is maybe down maybe 5 or 10%. I can't get away from Perez here.
race. Keep your delta number positive as we form up.
So we just had a pop-up that Lando Norris is out of the race.
Is too low and we'll risk a penalty. Slow your
And
pace
we
immediately.
now have a, I believe a safety car period. Yep, safety car. And here is what happened to Lando Norris in the McLaren.
Well, this should help a little bit.
Well, power just gave out. And I believe he may be through 6, 7, and 8 here. And he's going to pull off at turn 8.
There's Lando on the right.
Still under the safety car. We are trying to catch up to the queue. And there are a couple of cars just up ahead, just disappearing off in the horizon. Yes, certainly these safety car periods are another detail that the other race sims or games don't have. There are actually marshals on the side of the track there waving flags, realistic flags with
So it
the
looks like Max is up ahead.
light boxes indicating safety car.
Very masterful pit stops.
So here we are with Vettel and Leclerc just ahead of us, and I believe those are the two Mercedes just behind the safety car. And that should be Max Verstappen right behind the safety car. So looking at the safety car, the lights are still on. And at this point, if it doesn't turn them off, we are going to be going for another lap with the safety car. So now there is a pop-up that shows that Esteban Ocon is out of the session, or out of the race.
Okay, so lights are still on in the safety car. So we're going to go one more. That's fine.
So hopefully in just a second we'll see what happened to him. He is going to be in a black and yellow Renault. And here's the replay for Esteban Ocon. The reason why he is out of the race. Major engine failure, so he's going to be pulling off there between 7 and 8. And that happened while we were under the safety car. So we continue on lap 30. We are now in 6th place.
The track is clear. Green flag.
So back to green flag racing. I believe our next pit stop is set for lap 46. So we have 16 laps to go. 15. But at least now we
I just
are
don't have the power.
in sight of the Ferraris. And hopefully that safety car period was enough to cool down the combustion engine and the MG UK, which are both giving us trouble with power loss as a result for right now. So we are quite happy being in 6th place, considering we are under a power loss. And from the helicopter there, we are under green flag, so you can see that the racing point is very racy against us. And he will try to make his way around. We do have a DRS zone coming up here, and he should be in range. Nope, DRS is not available yet, as we just came out of a safety car period. It should be reactivated 2 laps after the safety car period. Once the green flag drops, you can see there that we gotten around Charles Leclerc under deep braking in turn 3, which is actually one of the places here that you can pass.
Missed the downshift.
Again, turn 3 is a place that you can pass, but it's going to be under extreme braking, and the conditions have to be just right in order to get something by there. Down to start finish straight for turn 1. There we are, we're able to dive under Sebastian Vettel. Same situation in turn 3. We do have our DRS open now, as we were close to Vettel at the end. Just before the entrance of turn 3. So that's going to let us get away a little bit. So perhaps our power loss problem has healed itself. We are back to faster speeds than the 2 Ferraris now. Down to turn 4, you can see that the sun has come out. Still a little bit overcast, but certainly there's shadows being cast by the sun, so we may not expect rain at all at this point. Now the Ferraris are able to stick with us down the start-finish straight. And they do have their DRS open now, coming into turn 2 and turn 3. But again, not close enough.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Oh, there's Sebastian Vettel. He tries to get around the outside, and it looks like he may have knocked off his end plate on his wing, or perhaps worse. Here's a quick replay of what happened. There we are. That flying part should be his end plate on the front wing. And from his wheel, he just does not have enough grip, so he's going to come in and have a change of wings. Here we are, front wing, and a tire change for Sebastian Vettel. Back to racing in the 66.
Don't know what happened there. He almost got me.
Lap 36 now. We are in 4th place. Another 10 laps until we can change out of these tires. Now the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc behind us.
The virtual safety car is out.
Okay, so another safety car.
Okay, slow down, slow down.
And this is going to be for Carlos Sainz,
Too fast. Reduce your pace.
the other McLaren. So both McLarens out of the race here in Austria. Here's a look at Carlos Sainz coming into turn 9. And for some reason, one of the racing points were very slow. Perhaps they were coming into the pits.
Safety car is ending. Maintain your pace.
And he was just pinched into him, as there are 2 cars on his left. And you can see there that the other racing point, and then I believe that is an AlphaTauri, he was just pinched into the racing point, and that is a broken front suspension and race over for Carlos Sainz. So back to the 66. We now have Ferrari. And a Red Bull just behind us. So again, the exit out of turn 3 is very squirrely. You struggle for grip as you're off camber going uphill. Turn 4 here. Again, it falls away. Turn 5, 6. Turn 7.
Verstappen is stopping now.
So we just got a radio that Verstappen is changing out of his tires. And as it is lap 39, he could actually finish the race with the set of yellows. Down the start finish straight. And it looks like the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc has also come in, changed out of his tires. And hopefully this race will avoid any mistakes with the tire changes in the pits. And we're doing our best to
Here's the Ferraris, both decided to pit.
We're doing our best to stick to the original pit strategy. So there is just a dot of somebody behind us disappearing in the distance there. So I think the Renault is still behind us, and so is Lance Stroll. So it looks like we made up a lot of time on this lap and the lap before, as they were closer to us just before the Ferrari came in. Definitely looks like more than 3 seconds. But now in third place we have Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri just ahead of us. And the two Mercedes have been on a race of their own.
The car behind.
Not even in sight. They are 9 and 10 seconds ahead of us now.
Teammate by 14.6 seconds.
So lap 42, we have a clear track ahead of us and behind us. Good time for us to make up some time.
Loss of power from the turbocharger now. Loss of power on the turbo.
That turbo is relatively new. I think it's got one race on it. 1 or 2 races.
Yeah, so the turbo is going. And under development, we'd certainly like to make some improvements in the reliability of the components, but right now that part of the garage is backed up as they are at the capacity of development work. And they've actually been at capacity for the last 4 or 5 races, so We have added on some parts here now in the last 4 or 5 races, but we have not been able to improve their reliability. I think certainly after this race we are going to have to make some changes.
Really losing a lot of power now.
Make some improvements there. So for F1 2020, there's actually a lot of ramifications or results coming from good points finishes and podium finishes. And this is just an example. We could
That was very slow.
probably used our points or any income towards the reliability department. But again, right now we do have an open track and we are keeping the Renault and the Racing Point behind. Here are the 2 leaders. You can see that Valtteri is just ahead of Lewis Hamilton in 1 and 2. As they are coming down to turn 3. And we're not even a dot on the horizon, so that's how far behind we are. So these 2 cars are certainly above the field, but at least we are ahead of the Red Bulls and the Ferraris, which are 2nd and 3rd in the competition, and we are experiencing very good results for a first-year car and a first-year team. Riding here with Lewis Hamilton looking on to Valtteri Bottas and the other Mercedes coming in through the start-finish straight on lap 46. Back to the 66, you can see here that we're just coming onto the start-finish straight. Still not a bad result so far. I would finish in 3rd place if the race were to end right now. And that would be a very good 3rd race in a row podium finish. Now we still have 1 stop left for us to change into the medium tires. So we are wondering where the 2 Ferraris and the Red Bull of Max Verstappen are. Unfortunately, we do not get updates from the... Here we are coming into the pits to change out of these reds and our last set of yellows. There is a Renault just behind us, and that should be Daniel Ricciardo. Set of yellows, no mix-up this time. Good, quick pit stop. We're able to maintain our distance from Ricciardo. There's the Ferrari. There's the Racing Point. What tires are they on? Now, if the Ferrari's on yellows, they're probably not going to stop. And you can see there that Perez and the Racing Point ahead of us. Well, both cars are still in the reds, so they will be stopping at some point before the finish of the race. There we are, banging wheels again with Sergio Perez, and we just jump in. He just left the door wide open, and we took an opportunity. Driving from the seat of Perez, looking on to the 66. He's going to try to get by here on turn 10. Turn 9, nope, not enough. He will have the DRS available to him, as so do we. And just not enough room to dive in there. Certainly 2 cars are not going to make it through turn 1. And that pushes him back as he had to let us go. Turn 3, the 66 is just ahead, and we are right up to the Ferrari. There we are, riding with the Ferrari, looking back at the 66. He is able to put a little bit of distance here on the infield. Oh, you can see there that we are very wide out on the apron. Now these yellows that we just put on, they should be coming into temp at some point on this lap. They usually take about 1.5 laps to come into temperature once you put them on. They are preheated in the garage to reach the racing temperature sooner, but you really have to drive them on the track to get them up to temp. Yeah, it looks like Sebastian Vettel was a little bit slow out of the exit. And we do have our DRS open, coming into turn 3. Another DRS zone. Down to turn 4. He is in sights. Oh, very sketchy move, but he's able to keep his place. And there's no damage indicated there, so we keep our wing. And now we have the racing point just inside, but he decides to stay behind.
Bottas has just put in a new fastest lap.
Still with the DRS, just behind Sebastian Vettel. It is now lap 51 of 71 laps. Now the Ferrari ahead should still come in to change out of these tires. There we are, driving underneath. Now Leclerc's tires should be a little bit more worn this time.
6.2 seconds.
So lap 52, we are back to 5th place with Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen just ahead of us. And then there should be the 2 Mercedes in 1st and 2nd. And there was Charles Leclerc just disappearing into turn 1.
9 seconds.
We do still have Sergio Perez racing with us just behind. You can see there with the proximity indicators that he was right there. Now he may have lost a lot of speed there coming into turn 1 as he was trying to sneak in. And judging by the timing there, it looks like Sebastian Vettel is now the car behind us. Trying to tiptoe through turn 1. There we are, down to 2% on our ERS. Tire wear looks good so far, and you can see here that we have 18 laps to go with just 0.7 laps of extra fuel. So we do have a little bit more fuel for extra boosts. Now, if you look at the...
Couldn't receive that. Repeat the message.
Yeah, so if you look at the tire temperatures now, you can see that the left front is certainly warmer than the right front as we are going clockwise on this track. In setting up the car, we certainly didn't make an account for that, as we did at Paul Ricard, the race just before this, and that may be hurting us right now. But again, the wear is still pretty reasonable. Okay, at the end of the lap, the tires are back to reasonable temperatures.
We're catching the car ahead, but be aware that these tires need to last till the end of the race.
Lap 56 of 71. there is a car ahead that is just a dot on the horizon, and that may be Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. With this set of yellows, we are not able to make any distance on him. But the timing indicates that he is still on his soft tires, so he will be coming in. And just ahead of Charles Leclerc, you can see now with the timing that Verstappen is in the pits, changing onto his mediums. There he is, just coming out of the exit, and he is the one that we are racing with now, as he is going to finish this race on that set of tires. We have just about a lap to be able to get up to him and see if we can get around. Otherwise, he will just run off in the distance there. And that may mean the difference between a good finish and a podium finish for us. So very cautiously through the infield.
I don't know how Verstappen got in and out so quick. He was only about 18 seconds ahead.
Bottas has just made a pass for the lead.
So Max ahead must have had a very good pit stop or a very good in-lap. He was, as we were watching, only 18 seconds ahead, and that would not be enough time to get in and out of the pits and gain some time unless he had a very, very fast in-lap. And that may be the reason why he is able to stay ahead of us now, considering that he came in and changed out of his tires. And you can see there that he is able to stay ahead of us now. And you can see that Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari has come in. He is further back in the queue now.
Our gap to the car in front is 4.4 seconds.
So Max is gaining time. So lap 60 of 71 now. We have 11 laps to put in some good times and see if we can cut down this time between us and Max Verstappen just ahead. It is only about 4.5 seconds. So it's still reasonably possible.
Bottas is out in front.
But that would mean that each and every one of our laps here have to be very good laps. And we're looking at the timing on the steering wheel. You can see that for this lap we are 1.1 seconds behind, which is certainly going in the wrong direction. There is a car just ahead of us. That may be just a back marker.
We're leading our teammate by 37.6 seconds.
Yep, that's just a back marker. Verstappen just went through turn 3. And that is certainly one of the Williams just ahead of us. We continue to lose time. We are now about 0.6 of a second behind on this lap. So the So at this point, the likelihood of us catching up to Max is not very likely. And we're going to have to try to conserve 4th place. We are now starting to monitor the car behind it, which is Daniel Ricciardo in the black and yellow Renault. He is 1.5 seconds behind, which is not very far at all. So one little mistake, one little off-track excursion, and he will definitely get by. Again, you can see there that we're still making adjustments. We have a little bit of fuel left to play with. And certainly our ERS. There's the boost. One second behind our fastest lap. 1.2. So unfortunately, it's hard to tell how much power we have lost or how much underpowered we are at this point. We just have to use the timing there to see how much slower we're going. Back on the boost, back on the fuel. Again, we're trying to maintain a distance from Ricciardo, at least so that he doesn't have an opportunity to open his DRS. So we're going for very good quality laps here, trying not to lose so much time. Going into turn 4, we are now 1.3 seconds behind our fastest lap, so we have slowed down quite a bit. And we are losing a lot of time. Now Daniel Ricciardo as a driver will not be spending a lot of time challenging you. He will stay behind and look for the best place to pass, and it will happen very quickly, and it will happen all at once. Oh!
Green flag. Okay.
A little tag there. It looks like he spun behind us. Yellow flag.
Safety car, virtual safety car. Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta.
Somewhere along the way, he tagged me and he spun.
And that would be for Daniel Ricciardo.
Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
So lap 65, we are now under safety car. We had a collision
I think he was
with
coming through the corner way faster than I was.
Daniel Ricciardo. So here we are from his T-cam, looking at the 66, coming into turn 9. He's inside. And it's very possible that he may just have been coming in too fast into
VSC ending, we're going green. Maintain
turn 10,
delta
as we were already there. Here he is coming in to change out of his wing. And put on a set of red tires just to finish the race. So our race with Daniel Ricciardo is over. And we do have Charles Leclerc behind us, but he's quite a ways back at this point. Back to green flag racing. Max is now just about 11 seconds ahead of us, so we won't be catching him. Again, we have been losing time since our last pit stops. Maybe it's this set of yellows that is causing us to lose time.
The gap to the car behind is 9.1 seconds.
But they actually look like they're doing pretty well. The variance,
Front is 12.5 seconds.
their variance on the temperature on left and right is not too far off.
Gap to teammate behind is 41.6 seconds. There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Turn 5 and 6 of lap 67, we are now in preservation mode. We're not going to be able to catch up to Max Verstappen, who had a faster pit than we did, and that's how he was able to keep his place. And with the newer set of tires, he's able to just get away. We're also experiencing a great amount of power loss here. Unfortunately, there's no way to measure it, but we are certainly a lot slower now than we were in previous laps. You can see here that as we accelerate out of turn 1, we continue to lose time, so the car is not going any faster. So again, we're just using our boost and our fuel to maintain our distance from Charles Leclerc, the car behind us, and finish in 4th place with the points that we have. There we are. We just got an indicator that Daniel Ricciardo, with his new wing and new set of reds, has set the fastest lap of the race. Lap 69 now, 3 laps to go.
The gap to the car ahead is 15.0 seconds.
Two fast laps by Daniel Ricciardo. He must have gone back on the reds after he's got his wings fixed. I'm pretty sure I saw him hit the wall.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
This car is sounding pretty flat.
So lap 70 of 71. Charles Leclerc is still not making any time on us.
Bottas is leading the race. To run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon.
final lap of the race. We are going to just maintain our place here. And if we make it safely across the start-finish line, we will be in 4th place again for a points finish. There we are. Valtteri has just crossed the start-finish line. At least we're not being lapped like we were for the first few races, so the development on the car is certainly improved, and we do have definitely more speed, but this race we are dealing with a couple of failing power parts. Down the main straight for the last time as we cross the start-finish line, that will be the end of the race. There we are.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Well, at least we got to finish that race. Car was really flat at the end. And there's no way we could have kept up with Verstappen.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team. And they certainly deserve it. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. That lead at the top of the table has shrunk somewhat today. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
That's got to be the Flying Finn. Wait, how many Flying Fins have we had now? Anyway, I'm talking about Bottas this time. Just great raw speed, and a good job in traffic as well.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, Renault move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today? It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it? Did you feel that things went well for you today? What was the secret ingredient for your performance today? Appreciate your time.
Thanks again for watching the Austrian Grand Prix with Driving Immersion. You can see our other Formula One races on our channels on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to comment below and let us know what you think of the race. We'll see you next time.